but you can see we have this in a much better phase. Some are not as bandaged, some are bandaged. And there's two kinds of bandaging that's happening. There's the bandaging because this is rotated wrong, and then there's the bandaging because these edges are placed wrong. So the next step is to continue our unbandaging process by trying to get this back down into flat or brick form. So right now this is still very much a floppy kind of a scramble because you have edges that are rotated. In a brick form, you wouldn't have that. So what I want to do is I want to rotate these down. I want to try to get them in the flat plane as much as I can. So I'm going to take opportunities that I might have. I've got this one up. Do I have another one that's up? I've got this one that's up too. And I've got this one that's up. So the edges that are just outside of the center edges here that I've reduced, I'm going to see if I can just plop them back down. So if I see two that are up and two that are down, well, I've got this one, and this one. So there's three. So all I've got to do then is just go per splat, because more are in the wrong plane. So now these are down except for this. So this one and this one are the last two that find themselves up, so to speak. Alright, so to get this down, I do the same algorithm that you saw with the parity solve, which is the Red Bull algorithm, because what that'll do is it'll swap them and it'll flip them down. So Red Bull will get these two down in the flat plane. So it's 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R. Two F, Li, two B, and then you can finish up with a 2R. So there you have it. All of these are now down. So now these guys, we're going to put these guys up. Same thing, let's see if there's any windows of opportunities. Now, you'd think, well, why don't I just Red Bull these down? But I can't because I'm bandaged here. That bandages that. So we're going to once again take opportunities. This one is up. Oh, this one is wrong, and this one is wrong. So I've got two that are wrong and two that are right. So it won't do me any good to do this because I'll still have two. If I can get a third one that's wrong. So I'm just going to do a little reorganizing here. I'm going to put this to here. I'm going to double turn this like so. Move this to here and double turn this back. This is just positioning. The reason why I did that positioning is now I've got 1, 2, 3 that are down. So 3. So the reason why I did that is now I can just go like boom. So now I've just got this one here. So now I've just got two that are up, and I'd love to Red Bullet, but I'm bandaged with this. So now I've got to get these all to the correct plane. Now this, to be honest with you, didn't scramble quite as much as I wanted. It all just sort of came into place. Much easier than I intended. But I do have to get this and this swapped. So what I'm going to do that is I'm going to move it to this side. And I'm going to put these in conjunction with the proper size. So you can see this is over here. This is opposite one that's small over here. I need to be opposite one that's large. So if I do a corner swap, this will come here, which is good because I'll have two long ones. This will come here, which is good because I'll have two short ones. But then these guys are going to swap as well, which is also okay because I'm swapping a short for a short. So in a corner swap, you just have to gear it to where you're pairing these with the proper size. So doing a corner swap will swap these two, which is what I'm going to want. And this will be short over here. But these two shorts will also swap, but that doesn't matter as long as two shorts are across from each other. So do a corner swap. And this corner swap is going to be just to the side of my reduced edge. 2R U, 2R UI, 2R UI D, 2R UI, 2R U, 2R, this moves back. Okay, now remember this is just at the side of my reduced edge, but I could move this as well. But now as you can see, these two are fine, these two are fine, and these two are fine. Now that I've done that, what I want to do is I want to take this guy and move him in conjunction with this. I'm going to take this and move him over here. I'm going to swap these two, so these two short edges can be paired with these two short edges over here. So what I'm going to do is just pair these by doing an edge swap. 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. So in actuality, these are actually brought in line. So I'm still going to be limited. I'd like to turn this back with this as my terminal end here. But the problem is I'm still going to be bandaged by these guys here. So if I try to do a corner swap here, I'll do 2RU. I just want to do the terminal corner, but I can't with this. So how am I going to get out of that? Well, what I'm going to do is, let's just take this and move it down. So this is here. And now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and corner swap this from this side. So that's going to be, I want to get these out of the way, whatever's bandaging me over here. So I just want to move these terminal corners here. So that's, and I don't have any of these ones that are rotated falsely up here. So 2RU, 2R, UI. 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. Okay. So why did I do that? Well, I did that because now I can start freeing things up. What I need to do is I need to flip-flop these centers over here. And the way that I'm going to do that is holding it over here. I can move this. I can move this, so I'm going to do a simple URF algorithm to flip-flop these guys. And it's going to be starting with the center here, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. Okay. So now I've got this here. You can see my centers are a little mixed up, but that's okay. I can easily get those back. As a matter of fact, I can do that at any time. But now I can swing these down. These have been unbandaged to do a Red Bull at the terminal end. 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, and you can finish with 2R. Now, I'd like to get my centers back the way that they were, so I'm going to do that now, just with a bunch of URF algorithms. So that's going to be 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. Are they all in? Nope. A couple things need to be exchanged here. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. And finally, we'll exchange these two, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. And in. Okay, so finally our 4x4 solve is completely done, and we've now done our floppy reduction. The floppy reduction was taking all these corners down. Now this can have a variety of different configurations. I've never seen quite that configuration before. So it was really a matter of positioning, but you can see where the challenge is. And that had to do with trying to free up the bandaging as much as possible, but the common factor with that is pairing these short ones with the long ones. And now that we have these back, the next thing that we have to do is we have to get these down and flatten the whole thing out to turn it into 180 degree, turn it kind of into a brick type configuration. So we're still doing the floppy reduction only with the centers. And all of these centers can be placed. These centers can be placed, but these cannot be placed by sliding U techniques. All the rest can be. So I can move this over here, move it down, slide it to the left, down on the left, slide it back to the right, up on the right, back on the left, up on the left, slide it back. Alright, so I'm going to keep following suit and placing them in that way. And turn. So this is the easy part. It just takes a little bit of doing. Alright, now I'm going to take this, move this guy to here. And again, as long as I'm not bandaging myself, this is the 6x6 portion of it. So we finished the 4x4 portion. Now we're doing the 6x6 portion by just sliding U techniques of getting everything in and Red Bull algorithms. I see it, this yellow can come to here, down on the right, slide it to the left, down on the left, slide it back to the right, up on the right, slide it back on the left, up on the left, and slide it back. Okay, these I can't do by sliding U techniques, because if I try to put it in, if I try to slide it to the left and I bring it down, bang, I'm stuck here. I'm bandaged down to here. So that's not going to work. I have to do something else. But I can start putting these greens in. So bring this green down. So now I've done my 4x4 reduction. Now I'm doing my floppy reduction. Reducing it from a floppy to as close to a brick or a Rubik 180 as I can. This green one comes down. And this is all just a matter of doing. So now this is a kind of point where you can just kind of relax and let the solution follow a little bit easier. Take this red one here, down on the left, right rather, slide it to the left, down on the left, slide it back to the right, up on the right, back to the left, and up on the left, and turn. Okay, we can bring this red one down, slide it across here, and slide it in over here. Now we can start bringing more of our centers here. So again, the 6x6 portion is fairly straightforward in terms of the floppy reduction. So I'm taking this out of floppy form, and the floppy form is a completely different kind of a cuboid than a domino. Moves different, behaves different. It's a different parity. So there's different cuboid parities, and floppy is one kind of a parity because it behaves different from the other floppy parities. The other cuboid parities, rather. Move this down. Across, up, boom. Okay, so we have a couple that still have to be moved in. I wonder if I can move it in with this. I haven't tried that before. Nope, can't do it like that. So I have to move it to the top. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll move this down here. I just want to get the green one out. and that's what I'm doing. Okay, now this green is going to end up down here. Alright, so I've got all this filled in over here. I just have to move my orange one. Move it down. And boom. Okay. So we have pretty much all these that I can put in. The next is to put in these over here if I can. But actually, even before well, I might as well. So continuing our sliding U technique here, this white will come into here, to R, slide it to the left, to L. Slide it to the right, to R, slide it back to the left, and boom. So that's in. I got a whole sheet here that needs to be done. Now I found myself with one more to go, which is this piece over here. Do a 2L, slide it to the right, 2R, slide it to the left, 2L, slide it to the right, and 2R. Okay. So all these are in, all these are in. Now it's a question of bringing these guys in. So how am I going to move these? Well, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to pair them as much as I can, and it doesn't matter to me if the right colors are paired. So if I move these two in temporarily, I see these two are paired, and what I want to do is I want to actually pair these guys. Pair the empty spaces so that I can move them in. So I'm wondering if I can do that first. So this is going to take a lot of deconstructing, but it's unfortunately got to be done. But I'm going to move this in like so. I'm going to double turn, and I'm going to move these in like thus. Okay, so now as you can see, I just have to remember to bring it back, but this can exchange with this. So again, I'm not interested in the color scheme. I'm really more just interested in putting these down where they're supposed to be here. So I'm going to move this down, and then double turn this over here. That way this can exchange with this with a URF algorithm. So that's going to be 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. Okay, it did exchange, see, but it brought this over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double turn it here, and now this whole thing can move in, and it doesn't matter which direction, per splat. Now something has to be bear in mind. When I did that algorithm, I moved the misplacement to here. So now I've got to move this back by doing another URF, but it wasn't this side. Remember, I turned it. So now I've got to turn it back. And now I'm going to do it again, the URF with this side as my F. But remember, we got to turn it back. So 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. Now as best as I can is I want to turn everything back to where it was before. So as I recall, I want like this, and I'm going to move this in. Whoops. As you can see, it's not with this, so I'm going to double turn this over here and go for splat. Okay. So it's not exact because these weren't placed. Well, actually, I can put this in, and I can put this in. Now this can turn back down. So these are taken out, but I can URF these back, so there's a little bit of a damage control that I can do here. I'll just do that now to you. Okay, so we're just trying to put down these from the floppy scrambled down to its natural native state over there. The way that I would do that is first I'm going to line up these pieces over here. Now notice how I'm doing a lot of work trying to maintain the original 4x4 solve. So this is here, I'm going to keep that in here for now, knowing that I had to do that little maneuver, and I go for splat. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, move it down to the opposite side here to this, and move it into this position. So now I'm going to do URF to get this, to flip-flop these guys. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. Now knowing that that pulled that to the other side here, I simply move it back, and then I can just pull it down like so. Actually, pull it up like this. Boom. Okay, now understand that when I did that, I created the misplacement at the terminal end, but not with this. Remember, I turned it, so I've got to always turn it back. I just always remember by rote to do that. And I'll do it again with my F being on this side, this layer. So that's 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. Now as best I can, I'm going to try to find my way back, and I think, so that's not going to match. I think this did turn this way over here, and now this turned up over here. And I know I'm on the right track because these are all in. Now these guys have to turn as well, and if I just turn it like so, then it does. And I'm just going to turn this back over here. So it would appear that I've maintained that, but something went a little wrong. Actually, if I move it like this, then it might make more sense. Okay, so these centers got messed up in the journey somehow, but that's easily placed. What I'm going to do is just URF these two with these two. So 2U, 2R, 2F all the way here, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. That created the placement on the terminal side here, so I'm just going to do it again. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. I'm going to do the same thing on this side here with these guys. Oops. Actually, this needs to switch with this. So 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. And again, placing these back in, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. Okay, then I can turn this back. So all of that just to get ourselves back to this native form. And so now we have a Rubik 180, so to speak.